From Neural Newscast, this is Deep Dive, exploring the moments that shape today.
Welcome to Deep Dive. I'm Claire Donovan.
And I'm Benjamin Roth. Today is May 30th, a date where history speaks through monumental stone and the magic of the human voice.
It's a perfect description, Benjamin. We're looking at a day that gave us one of the most recognizable structures in the world, several iconic voices, and our first truly clear look at another world entirely.
It really covers the full spectrum. Let's start at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. It's 1922, and a massive crowd has gathered for the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial.
It's incredible to think about the timeline. The project had been in the works for decades, but when it was finally dedicated on this day in 1922, it became a national experience. Chief Justice William Howard Taft, who was also a former president, handed over the memorial to President Warren G. Harding.
Harding made history in a very specific technological way during that ceremony. He became the first United States president to have his voice transmitted by radio while giving an address. 50,000 people were there in person, but for the first time, people across the country could feel like they were part of that moment. From a construction perspective, the memorial is a masterpiece of symbolism. Those 36 columns represent the states in the Union at the time of Lincoln's death. It was built as a permanent physical manifestation of unity, something the country was still deeply grappling with in the early 20th century. It's a powerful, stoic symbol. But Claire, as we move through May 30th, we find the day is also about the vibrancy of the individual voice. Specifically, 3 people born on this day who used their voices to reshape culture.
First, we have to talk about Mel Blanc, born in 1908. He's often called the man of 1,000 voices, and that's barely an exaggeration. From Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to Barney Rubble, he essentially built the auditory landscape of childhood for generations.
What fascinates me about Blanc is the sheer technical skill. He wasn't just doing funny voices, he was creating distinct personalities through inflection and breath. In an era long before digital manipulation, he was the human equivalent of a soundboard. He proved how much humanity could be conveyed through a character, even a cartoon rabbit.
Just 1 year after Blanc, in 1909, we saw the birth of Benny Goodman. If Blanc was the voice of animation, Goodman was the voice of the swing era. As a clarinetist and band leader, he was the king of swing, and he really broke down barriers in the music industry.
Goodman's impact wasn't just about the music, though the music was revolutionary. He was one of the first major white band leaders to lead an integrated group. From an ethical standpoint, he used his platform to push back against the segregation that was standard in the jazz world at the time. He cared more about the talent and the sound than the social conventions.
And the tradition of powerful voices on May 30th continues right into the modern era with Idina Menzel, born in 1971. She has had this incredible career path, from the gritty, emotional core of Rent on Broadway to becoming a global icon in Frozen.
It's interesting to see how she occupies that space between the niche world of musical theater and global superstardom. When she sings Let It Go, it isn't just a song. It's a cultural touchstone about self-acceptance. It shows that whether it's 1908 or 1971, the voices born on this day have a way of echoing far beyond their initial performance.
It really is a day for the arts. But while we're talking about voices and legacies here on Earth, May 30th also marks a date when we looked much further away, specifically toward the Red Planet.
You're talking about Mariner 9. Launched by NASA on this day in 1971, this was a massive gamble that paid off. It wasn't just another flyby mission. The goal was to actually orbit Mars.
And it was successful. It became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet. When it arrived, there was a massive dust storm covering the whole planet, and the mission team had to wait for it to clear. But once it did, the images they got back changed everything.
That is the part that fascinates me, Claire. Before Mariner 9, many scientists thought Mars was a dead, cratered world like the Moon. But Mariner 9 mapped 80% of the surface. It found giant volcanoes like Olympus Mons and a canyon system, Valles Marineris, that makes the Grand Canyon look tiny. It shifted our entire understanding of our neighbor.
It turned Mars from a mysterious red dot into a real place with a history and a geography we could study. It's a perfect example of how technology can expand the boundaries of human knowledge.
Exactly. Whether it's a radio broadcast at the Lincoln Memorial or a satellite orbiting Mars, May 30th is about bridging distances.
Well said, Benjamin. From the marble of the National Mall to the dust of Mars, it's been quite a journey today. Thank you for joining us for this look at the stories behind the dace.
I'm Benjamin Roth.
And I'm Claire Donovan. This has been Deep Dive.
Deep Dive is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. Explore history every day on Neural Newscast at deepdive.neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Deep Dive on Neural Newscast, exploring the moments that shape today.